What's good, yo? It's the All Facts No Cap podcast here, and I'm your host, Horace Fikar, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. As today, I'm gonna be doing something that actually haven't done in a long time, and I'm actually gonna talk about basketball, and I haven't done it in a long time. And today, the season's almost over. Season's almost over. Basically, like the some teams have made the playoffs, some teams have not. But the topic I'm really gonna go touch on today is just the awards, the NBA awards, and who I think should actually come out with the award. And I'm really gonna use just like the top three candidates, and then because and like based on the award criteria, because for MVP, for example, I'm really gonna use how it's been this entire this entire time, whatever ever since the award has been given out. I'm not really gonna give it to, of course, like the most valuable player, which we all know who that probably is if you have been watching the season. So I'm gonna start with the MVP. Yeah, I'll just start with the MVP. And the MVP, I'm gonna give. So the top three, I think, are. Let me check right now. The top three are Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. If I really wanted to pick, I would probably give it to Giannis Antetokounmpo because he's still playing at an MVP type level, and he's really like Milwaukee is still like one of what the top three teams in the East. And it's hard to maintain an MVP type level for 3 years in a row, but because of voters fatigue, I can understand why they won't give it to him. But of course, the MVP is really gonna give it to Nikola Jokic. I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious. That's why I really start with this award. And the thing that just kind of confused me is Rudy Gobert being number six. Like I get the Jazz are the best team in the league, but record wise, but I don't know, man. This is very odd to see just a center, a dominant center that hasn't even been is it in the MVP. Like last time I think that happened was Dwight Howard in 2011. Yeah, that was when Derrick Rose won. And yeah, now moving on. So I'm gonna go on to six man of the year, which which I think is easily Jordan Clarkson because the Jazz are the best team in the league and record wise, and a lot of it is because of Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench, and that is pretty good, man. I don't really have much to say about this. And okay, so I don't really know which award to go now. I'm really just gonna talk about probably the most improved player. Yeah, I'll go with the most improved player. And most improved player to me is probably Julius Randle, and he's really like the only guy because Jeremy Grant and Christian Wood, those guys, like I really wanted Christian Wood to win it because I'm a Rockets fan, so I really wanted Christian Wood to win it. But Christian Wood, he had an injury, and then that just ruined his odds. And now Julius Randle is playing out of his mind right now, and he's leading the Knicks to I think the fourth to fifth seed in the East, or I don't know where they are, but they're a playoff team. And yeah, Julius Randle is the main reason for that. And it's actually pretty odd. And I actually took an L for this because I traded Julius Randle in my fantasy because I didn't think I thought he would have like not an off year, but not at this season he's having right now. But I from what I'm seeing on NBA Twitter, from what I've been seeing on Twitter for the past like weeks, everyone's saying Julius Randle. I know it's a lot of jokes, but Julius Randle's the greatest Nick of all time. He's better than Chris Bosh. He should win MVP. Like, no, man. That's like those are like the worst takes I've ever heard. But I gotta give it to Knicks fans because they spent a long time. They never got a player like Julius Randle to see since like Carmelo Anthony, and Julius Randle's not as good as Carmelo Anthony. And Julius Randle, I don't even think is a key piece. Well, yeah, he's definitely a key piece to that team, but I don't think he's the most important guy, which I think is like Tom Thibodeau because his the way he's coaching this defense is just carrying this team right now. So yeah, so with the what I recapped so far was MVP Nikola Jokic, six man Jordan Clarkson, and then most improved player, Julius Irving. Now I said six man, yeah, and now moving on, I'm gonna go to defensive player of the year. This is a really tough, not tough, but this is a really great argument because I can see like five people coming out with this award, and I know a lot of people really think it's probably like one sided or like two sided. It's really two people, but I really can see an argument for really anyone as like guys like Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons, Miles Turner, Drew Holiday, even like Draymond Green. I see those guys honestly. One of them can come out with the award, I wouldn't be mad about it. As Rudy Gobert, yeah, the Jazz are one of the best defensive teams in the league, and he is the sole anchor. Like if he's off, they rely so much on him on defense. If he's off the court, the Jazz become the worst defensive teams. And Ben Simmons, of course, is like the best all around defender. He can guard the best player, and he'll do a really great job at it. As like he did it to Luka Doncic, Trey Young, De'Aaron Fox. I remember De'Aaron Fox. Like he just does everything well. Like he just does every perimeter defense well. Same with Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday has made the Bucks defense more efficient, and he at times is guarding the best player apart from Giannis Antetokounmpo, which we all assume he would. And Miles Turner is actually kind of having an underrated defensive season because he's not really talked about as much, and he's I think he's leading the league in blocks, which I know that's not really the best way to tell someone's defense, but that does speak for something. And he's the sole anchor of the Pacers defense, which they did kind of not fall off a cliff, but they did kind of like struggle. They're kind of struggling now, but based on this entire season, Miles Turner has been guarding opposing bigs, and he's doing that very well. And as for no, was it Draymond Green? Draymond Green's always been a great defender, so it makes sense for them not to give it to him. But Draymond Green has always been a great defender. He's been kind of having like a bounce back year because I've been hearing people calling him washed for like the past 2 seasons. And yeah, he's kind of having a bounce back year. But who I think will come out with the award is really tough. And if I were to give the award, I would give it to Ben Simmons. Not, and I know, yeah, I know a lot of people are backlashing the dude because he thinks he is, and he's like he's trashing Rudy Gobert and all the other candidates because he thinks he really is. But I think he has a solid argument. He's become probably one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, and he's been guarding like every team's best player, and he's doing a really good job at it. Like I said with Luka Doncic, Trey Young, De'Aaron Fox, I said with those guys, like he's been doing a really great job at it, and I think it's I think it's time for him to win it. And I do think, yeah, Rudy Gobert really, I think, should deserve it more. But Rudy Gobert has already won it twice. So I think it might be not like a voter's fatigue, but it could be something that they'll look into. And Ben Simmons is number one. It has the number one odds right now. And I think he can keep it like that. I think he can keep it like that. He's been he's been very good defensively this entire year. He's been pretty efficient. So I wouldn't have a problem giving him the award. And coach of the year, I think, is easily Monty Williams because maybe Quinn Snyder, maybe Tom Thibodeau, but I don't think Tom Thibodeau will get it. So Quinn Snyder and Monty Williams, I really think is Monty Williams because Monty Williams has really changed this culture yeah, along with Chris Paul, but they changed the culture of Phoenix. Like we already knew the Jazz were like a playoff team, and Tom Thibodeau, like yeah, he is dealing with a lot of doubts, but he's not doing what Phoenix is doing right now. Phoenix is the second best team in the league record wise. I have to say record wise, and it's just it really makes a lot more sense. Like they're the second best team in the league, and no one really thought of them being the second best team in the league. Not even like the first. They were the first seed a couple of times, and if no one expected them to do that, and Monty Williams showed he's like proved everyone and said, "Nah, we could be." That seems like a coach of the year to me, and he's doing a really great job with the Suns team. And this Suns team is actually pretty exciting. I don't think they're gonna make the finals because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, I like to see a Suns title run," but I don't think it's gonna happen because they're gonna have to face like the Clippers, maybe even the Lakers, honestly, in the first round. So we'll see, we'll see about that. And Yeah, so Monty Williams with the Dudes Coach of the Year. And what I'm gonna do now is probably a heavily debate on the Rookie of the Year. So personally, I really like Tyrese Halliburton, and I don't think he's gonna come up with it, but he does have a case, which he probably won't. And it's probably gonna be LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards, which are the two most polarizing rookies. They both have like the flashy stats. They both have the flashy plays. They both have the flash. They both play on like not horrible teams, but they both play on a team where that really loves them. But I'm really gonna have to give it to Lamelo Ball. Like he's came back. He came back and Charlotte. The reason a lot of the reason why Charlotte's in the playoffs is because of him, and that's really that's really exciting for a rookie to really do that. I don't. It took me a long pause to just think of a word, but it's really exciting for a rookie to really do that. I was not a Lamelo hater coming into the draft, but I also wasn't a Lamelo lover coming into the draft. I wasn't a fan of him, but I can see why. I can see that he's been pro since like what he was like 8, 17, 16. He went overseas, which was a pretty smart move by LeVar Ball, yo. Like everyone thought he was a dumb person for doing that, but man, he did. Kind of proved everyone wrong there. But I'm gonna have to give it to Lamelo Ball. I think from because Anthony Edwards had a slow start to the season and then just and then started becoming more flashy. But I think with Lamelo Ball having the first half for his first half of the season was doing really well. He came back from an injury, so I think that would help him come back. And he's also a part of the piece for a playoff team, which Anthony Edwards is in a poverty franchise. Man, that this is a really tough argument, but I'm really gonna have to give it to Lamelo Ball. Like I don't know if a rookie with that much, oh, not with that much hype. I'm just gonna say I don't know if a rookie with as polarizing as he is was able to do this much since like LeBron James. And you maybe I don't know. This may be like a trash take, but I'm just gonna say maybe this is probably like one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time, and this has to be. So I'm just gonna give that award to Lamelo Ball, and that probably sums up everything else. And I can probably talk here all day and all night long, but what I'm really gonna say is now I'm talking about the awards. I'm probably now gonna speak about like this my surprises and expectations for the playoffs. So everyone is pretty surprised about the Suns and the Jazz being the number 1 and 2 seeds. And yeah, the Lakers aren't really that great because of their shortened offseason. It's kind of having a toll on their players, especially LeBron and Anthony Davis. But I do really think the playing tournament's a pretty good idea because it really shows how a 10th seed can really make the play can try to go and make the playoffs. Like it's like their final chance. And it brings more excitement, really. I think it would bring more excitement to the fans to see that, oh, especially where it's at like this year, because the Lakers and Warriors could be in like the 7, 8, 10, 9, 10 spots, and it would be pretty sick to see LeBron and Curry battle it out for that 7th seed. But it is pretty odd for to see them at that stage. And expectation is just that, yeah, the West is dominant, as the West has really great teams, and the East is just kind of weak. As I think like apart from the Bucks, Sixers, and Nets, is like every single team has a losing record. I think, or even if it's not losing record, it's just like barely above 500. Man, that's a weak Eastern Conference, man. That's just a weak Eastern Conference. But the East has always been kind of quite like this for quite a while. And I honestly, I think this is really the only thing I got to say, because I don't know what time is it right now. I don't know how long I have been recording. So I think so. I'll just sum up my awards right now. So I'll just go with Defensive Player of the Year, Ben Simmons; MVP, Nikola Jokic; Coach of the Year, Monty Williams; Sixth Man of the Year, Jordan Clarkson; MIP, Julius Randle; and I think I'm forgetting some rookie of the year, LaMelo Ball. And yeah, I think that's all the awards I touched on, and I think these are the rightful owners for the award this year. As let me elaborate more on the MVP, which is Nikola Jokic, just because Nikola Jokic is really the only guy that fits the criteria, and the Nuggets are battling for like a 1 to 3 spot, so at a top 3 spot in the West. So it's not really a bit of a stretch now that to make Nikola Jokic win it, as like Jamal Murray is gone and basically every single MVP candidate is injured, and like he is really his all opportunity, and yeah, like that's his opportunity to get it. And I think that just sums everything up. I was like, I hope you all had a fun time watching this. I think this was just like a quick episode just to hear all my opinions. And if you agree with me, make sure to, I don't know, just maybe follow me on Twitter, and then make me. Man, I just blanked out right there. Just follow me on Twitter, and follow all the IG too. Then subscribe while you're at it.